Hi kids, we're going to have a demonstration out here in the church side yard. It's a rather warm day and I have a couple of things to help me with this demonstration. I have a nice, cool, watered, we'll call it a pool, even though it's a little small. It's so warm out here this afternoon I think I might want to take a dip myself. And in here, in this bucket over here, I have mud. Look at this mud. Oh, it's beautiful mud. Now, I want you have an assignment this morning. Your assignment is simply this. Stop the video and get out a piece of paper and a pencil and write down on one part of the paper, mud, and put a line under it. And then write down on the other part of the paper, a pool, or water. Put a line under that. And then I want you to write down as many things as you can think of to do with mud under the mud word, and as many things you can think of to do with the pool underneath the pool words. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and do that. Well, I hope you had fun making that list, and I wish I could ask you what was on that list. But, you know, the way we're doing things now, it's not really all that possible. But if you want to bring me that list to church today, I would love to take a look at it. We're going to talk about a story in God's Word that has to do with both mud and a pool, and what Jesus did with each. There was a blind man. He was blind since birth, and Jesus came across that blind man, and when he saw him, he desired to heal him. And rather than just put his hand on him or put his hand on his eyes, he took mud. And he took the mud and he actually spit in the mud. In fact, called spittle in my Bible. And he took the mud, spit-filled mud, and put it on the guy's eyes, the blind man's eyes. And then he had a command. The command was simply this: go wash in the pool of Siloam. So this blind man with mud on his eyes made his way over to the pool. Probably was a pretty long walk, and he probably needed some friends to help him get over there. And with the mud on his eyes, he gets into the pool and he washes the mud off of his eyes with the pool water, the pool of Siloam. And then he makes his way back to where Jesus is found. When he makes his way back, there's a lot of people that want to know what in the world happened. He first comes across some people in the town, his neighbors, and they want to know if he really was the blind man. And he tells these guys, yes, he is. It's me. I was the one that Jesus healed. And they ask, well, how did you get healed? And he said, I really don't know. There was this man, his name was Jesus. He came and he put mud on my eyes. He told me to go wash in the pool of Siloam, and that's what I did. And then I came back seeing. Well, there's another group of people that wanted to talk with this man, and they were the religious leaders, the Pharisees. And they asked, what in the world's going on? Are you the blind man? He said, yeah, I'm the blind man. And then he has to tell the Pharisees exactly what he told the neighbors. The Pharisees didn't believe. They got into a little bit of disagreement, actually, and the Pharisees wanted to figure out a way to not have this powerful miracle happen because they didn't want people to believe on Jesus, if you can believe that. And the Pharisees go after this blind man and ask who did it. And he goes, well, his name is Jesus, and he says, well, he's a prophet. Well, the Pharisees didn't let it go at that, so they went and got the blind man's parents and asked the parents, is this your son? And the parents said, yeah, it's our son. He was blind, but how he sees now, we don't really know. We better ask him. So they go back to the blind man, and the blind man again tells them a story. This time he says, you too want to trust in this Jesus? He has the power to take somebody that's blind and have them see. Well, Pharisees didn't want to trust in Jesus. So the blind man gets put out of the temple. He was told he couldn't come to the temple anymore. And that in that culture meant that he probably couldn't find a job either. He probably couldn't associate with his family. Jesus finds him. And when Jesus finds him, he asks him, do you believe in me? And the blind man goes, I don't even know who you are. All I know is your name is Jesus. And he says, well, I'm the Son of Man. Do you believe in me? And the blind man says, yeah, I do. I believe that you are the one promised from the Old Testament, that you are the Messiah. And he trusts in Jesus that day. What an amazing miracle. Done with mud and a pool. My question for you this morning is, are you believing in Jesus? Are you trusting in Jesus? We all need our sin forgiven, and if you haven't trusted in Jesus to forgive your sin, let me encourage you to do that right now. You can talk to your parents, and I'm sure they would love to help you, but all you have to do is tell Jesus that you know you've had sin, you know you've blown it, and you can't get to heaven with your sin, and you want him to take that sin away from you. And then you could be just like the blind man. Jesus ends this story with a rather interesting conversation with the Pharisees, and he says, you know what, Pharisees? You think you can see, but you're really blind. You can't see me. You can't see spiritually to see that I am Jesus, that I am the one promised in the Old Testament. And the blind man who knew he couldn't see at the beginning of the story, he now sees because he knows Jesus. I pray you know Jesus as well. If you have questions about that, ask your parents or come to church and ask me. We'd love to talk. Well, thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great Sunday.